out smoking on a fat cigar. Cool breeze in my head, bittersweet smoke flying through the air. It's the way I feel smoking on a fat cigar. Look at sweet mama watching me play guitar. She got long black hair and she's smoking on a fat cigar. Black silk stockings and the finest of white. Those curves and that stomach, she's looking so fine. It's the way I feel smoking on a fat cigar. Fancy clothes, diamonds, and big fine cars wouldn't be the same without a big old fat cigar. Talking about the master plans that'll make us go far. Such a beautiful, magical dream. Look into the end, we're holding all the green. It's the way I feel smoking on a fat cigar. Big old fat cigars. Big old fat cigar. Big old fat cigar. Fat cigar.
Hey everybody, that was Jeff Pitchell's Fat Cigar you've been listening to, and now it's time for Not Just Blowing Smoke. Be sure to subscribe to us on Podbean, Spotify, iTunes, Google, basically wherever you get your podcasts from. I'm Pastor Padron, and I'm here with my regular cadre of co-hosts, Dave, Paul, Nick, and the beautiful Kendra, the Potion Master, is with us tonight. And tonight we are smoking this beautiful cigar. It is the Sindicato Toro Maduro. And from the Sindicato website, it says about this cigar that the Sindicato Maduro is square pressed and crafted by Arsenio Ramos with tobaccos from Eduardo Fernandez's farms in Nicaragua. The Sindicato Maduro is wrapped with a beautiful dark Maduro leaf from Alberto and Alejandro Torrance farms in San Andreas, Mexico. The wrapper is a San Andreas Moron wrapper. The binder and filler are both Nicaraguan. It is a 6x54 box press cigar and very, very tasty. But before we get into this cigar, Kendra is going to share with us a little bit about what we are drinking with this cigar. What have we paired this with tonight, Mrs. K?
Something real special.
I can.
Crazy
My
good.
nostrils, they're flaring. What is this?
Oh,
This is Elijah Craig Barrel Proof.
Woo!
And this is batch B519. It's
wow.
there's quite a few different batches, but this one is 122 proof, 122.2.
Nice.
Wow.
That wakes
Right
you
up my
right
alley.
up. Yeah.
I love it.
Boy, that's
My sinuses are clearing out even as we
kidding.
speak.
That blast of spice right off. Oh
Yeah.
my God, it's unbelievable.
That is
That's good
delicious.
stuff.
A lot of barrel you get in there. A lot of wood,
Nice,
barrel.
nice deep cherry too in that as well. Nice.
Now, what does barrel proof mean? Is it just a fancy
So-
name, or is that an actual technical term?
So that's the proof coming out of the barrel. They don't bring the proof down by adding water.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so this is, right out of
Not
the barrel.
cut with anything at all. It's just 122.5
straight?
proof straight.
That's what I like.
Wow.
Nice, strong.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness. So, this cigar is a Mexican San Andreas wrapper, and that's got some nice earthy, cocoa, leathery kind of tones to it. Nick, what are you picking up from this cigar here?
Some earth and leather. A little bit.
That's what I said.
You're asking me a question, so
Yes.
I'm trying to answer it truthfully
Yes.
here.
Yes.
Some sweetness, some dark chocolate tones, little espresso, earthy, some spice on the retrohale. Incredibly smooth. Very, very smooth. Medium full body. Almost, I guess I want to kind of go out on a limb and be like, it's very comparable to Padron. Not so much maybe a 64 or 1926, but it's in that realm. The smoothness, the rich taste that you get from it, really, really nice.
This is a lot stronger to me though than the Padron 1000
Yes,
series.
yes. I wouldn't go. I would say this would probably hover if you're gonna compare it. I would say it hover right between the 64 and the 26 as far as your strength level and the smoothness of the cigar.
But it doesn't taste like that. It tastes more like the 1000 series to you.
No, this is kind of like it stands out. You get some similar characteristics, like a Padron, but not. I think it's too bold to be a Padron. To me, a Padron is really smooth, really rich. You get some spice. This one, I think it's a little too loud to be a Padron, but you can kind of get that similarity in there.
But that's why they call it Sindicato
Obviously.
and not Padron.
Jeez. Obviously. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? I've smoked this before, so for me, it's, you know what I mean? It's for $8-9,
Yeah.
I think it's the closest you're going to get to a Padron. Maybe if you put it head-to-head with an Illusion Cigar Privé, because that was made specifically for a customer, correct, Paul?
Correct. Yes.
That loves Padron, so that was like in mind. So, but this one it's really good, really smooth, really love it.
Paul, what are you thinking?
Well, I get a lot of spice right off the first few draws.
Yeah.
And then the spice kind of settles down just a little bit. Lots of cedar sweetness, lots of earth, a little bit of leather, some cocoa. So I do agree with Nick that it is blended to smoke like a Padron. But I've had this many times in the last 2 years since I started working here. I got to be honest with you, this kind of stands apart from Padron. Padron's very unique flavors. They,
Yep.
you're never gonna come close to their tobacco that they use. But in a sense, because this is made by what we know today as Aganorsa leaf, Eduardo Fernandez and Arsenio Ramos when he was alive, who created this. The flavors that I get from this cigar, I've had similar experiences. I want to say this is similar to the Night Watch.
Oh, okay.
And certain flavors that I get. So this is actually, I would say, even though it's medium full, I want to say it's on the higher end of medium full.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, this has got some heat to it. So the Cigar Privé is more like a medium plus, maybe medium full at best. But this has got some serious heat to it. I'm going to say this is a medium full to full.
Yeah, I agree.
But
I totally
lots
agree.
of flavor. The spice right off the bat. The cedar, wood, earthy tones are there. The leather, a little bit of cocoa, well balanced. Just a delicious cigar.
Yeah.
Kendra,
Dan.
did you light up the cigar at all?
Yes,
You
I
did?
as a matter of fact.
Did your drink stand up to it? What do you think of your pairing here so far?
Yeah, it actually the strength matches really well.
Yes, it does.
So I think the bourbon on its own, you know, being a barrel proof, in the finish you get some heat, right? But pairing that up with a cigar, it almost took a little bit of heat off the bourbon. It almost like mellowed that a tad. And for me, you know, obviously you already know, like it's probably a cigar that's a little bit too full for me, but I do think that it was a good choice of bourbon, and I'm getting like intense, like earthy, maybe even a little bit of like drinking a strong black cup of espresso.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I
I
think
can definitely pick up those espresso notes, sure.
I think the drink pairing brings out, well, not brings out. I think it allows your palate to pick up a lot more tasting notes in there. It comes alive. The cigar comes alive, because I've had the cigar many times before, and it's never
Many,
as
many times
many
before.
times,
Many times.
like 2-3 boxes many times.
thousands of times.
No, I'd say hundreds. But I think the drink makes it more vibrant. Makes the
Vibrant.
makes the tasting notes more vibrant. So they're easier to pick up, easier to enjoy. And the Elijah Craig 122 is just
I do
amazing.
think the drink totally makes your taste buds go.
Oh my God! It
Oh,
opens right up.
Yeah.
They stand right up. And
Absolutely.
Go, what the heck did you just put in my mouth?
High five, Kendra. High
Oh my
five.
gosh.
You know, I can't take all the credit on this one because today was a nice afternoon out on the deck here at the lounge, and we have a customer that enjoys bourbon, and he comes in frequently. And
Yes, he does.
Dan and I were chatting about the cigar for this evening, and I said, John, what do you think about what would you pair for a bourbon? And he suggested this, and he was right on. You know, I did a little bit of research just to make sure it was going to work, and so we have to give John a little credit for this pairing too.
Yeah,
Very
so
good,
you're
John.
here.
Cheers, John.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Dave, do you have anything you want to add to what has already been said?
Yeah, the cigar, I'm getting a lot of earth, a little bit of spice in the retrohale. I'm getting I feel like a caramel or toffee from the
Caramel
Craig-
toffee?
caramel or toffee. Jesus, from the whiskey, from the Craig. I think it's bringing out some of the spice in the retrohale. But yeah, the pairing is like amazing. Definitely feel my taste buds at attention. It waked me up. Yeah, this stuff is kicking.
I tell you, the burn on this thing is great. The draw is really nice on the cigar. And I have to be honest. This is not a cigar that I've had that often. This is
Yeah.
probably the
You
third or
should.
fourth time that I've had it.
You should. It's
And
a
it
delicious
is-
cigar.
Much stronger than I remember it. I don't remember this cigar being this strong. And I'm sure it's just my memory and not, the cigar itself. But, man, this is really, really good. I get where Nick's comparison to Padron comes from. There's a lot of similar flavors here. I'm one of these guys that I think the worst way you can sell a cigar is to say this is like a Padron, because
That's their
nothing
yeah,
is
that's
a
their
Padron.
expectation. Yeah,
You know,
right.
This is like an Opus X. No, it's not. Nothing's
Right.
like an Opus X. This is it's one of these when you're trying to be something that you're not. So I would sell this cigar on its own merits. Yeah, if you like Padron, you're gonna like this cigar.
Yeah.
There's a lot of similar flavors here, but to me, Padron is very smooth, very creamy. It's much more chocolatey.
Yeah.
A Padron 1000 series is a little bit more mocha. You know,
Yes.
going on. A 64 series is like smoking a sweet bar of chocolate.
Yeah, I was gonna
And a
say
1926 is like a peppery bar of chocolate. It's really, really nice.
This feels almost like a
Project, Dave.
feels almost like a exclusivo, but
It feels like an exclusivo.
well, the taste
It tastes
God.
like an
Reminiscent.
exclusive.
of an it's like the memory of an exclusivo.
A memory?
Okay.
Please elaborate. Please.
Are you talking just
Explain.
the flavors you're getting out of it?
Yeah, like it's like a faint, distant. It's like an echo of it. It's not it, but it's like it almost wanted to be, but didn't quite get there.
See, I think, you know, much like the cigar
Maduro,
Privé that you
of course.
mentioned that was blended for a person who liked Padron, I don't think the plan from Dion was ever to recreate Padron.
No.
It was to, you know, kind of be inspired by that to create something new. Cigar Privé is very smooth, you know, medium, maybe medium plus at some points. And because it's got the San Andreas and the Nicaraguan wrapper, of course, there's going to be a lot of similar things. But it was never meant to be a Padron. It was meant to be its own thing. This cigar, one of the things I like about this that is different from Padron is that if this was a Padron, it would be half gone.
Yeah, we'd be already be done. We'd be at the band by
They
now.
do burn
Yeah.
a little fast.
They
Oh,
burn
a little
fast, and
fast.
because when you said this feels like an exclusivo, I was getting really nervous about what you were saying, because an exclusivo to me is very light,
Yeah.
and you can tell it's not very hard packed. This is a solid cigar.
Yeah.
Really solid.
There is really no give to this. There's no soft spots anywhere here at all. It's really, really nice and really firm. And I haven't experienced that a lot with Padron lately. And that, you know, my nickname, you know, Pastor Padron, there it is. It's still one of my favorite cigars. Nothing has been able to copy that taste. But this is a fantastic cigar, and at half the price of a Padron 64, if somebody
Yeah.
was looking for a cigar who was, and you know how Padron people are. Padron people smoke Padrons.
That's it.
all they want.
That's all they smoke.
That's all they do. And to get somebody off of Padrons, kind of like getting somebody off of Opus or off of Ashton, if that's what they smoke,
It's tough.
it's really tough. But if you could hog tie the person, strap this cigar to their mouth, light it, and then hold their nose so they had to suck, they would probably say, "Hey, this is a really good cigar. I like this."
There you go.
Can you take the straps off now?
I've turned, you know, since I've been here for almost 3 years now. And
Wow.
when Kurt introduced me to the cigar and the story he told me that, you know, about it and how it smokes almost like a Padron, I was like, well, you know, that's crazy. And nothing smokes like a Padron, like you said, Danny.
Yeah.
The Padron is gonna be standing alone in that aspect. But when I smoked it, I was like, okay, well, there's some similarities there. The construction is really good, and the taste is really good. I could probably maybe turn some people onto this if they're looking for an alternate,
Yeah.
because as everybody knows, that this house that Padrones can get expensive,
Yeah.
especially if you're going and buying more than 10. So it can get up there.
Especially if you're buying more than 10.
Yeah.
It can get expensive.
It can. So
Stay under 10, though. It's pretty reasonable.
yeah, well, you know, it depends.
Chat seems to think, Nick, that you have the Rona because I guess it has to do with the taste buds.
Yeah, all right. I can taste this cigar fine. And the
said
Elijah
that?
Craig.
Who said that, Dave?
That was
Who was that?
Brad Edward Christie.
Oh, Brad.
Oh, Brad
Um,
Or
Christie.
we could have
Oh,
guessed it was
appreciate
Brad
that.
that said that.
we appreciate you looking out for us, Brad.
if there's
Looking
anyone
out
who's
for me.
going to say something negative about us, it's... I can't say. Okay.
I'm good. No fever.
Just kidding. Just kidding, really. Okay. So,
So, but I've turned some people on to this cigar that
thank you for finishing this thought.
yes, turned some people on
Turn some people on.
to this cigar.
All in a day's work.
For a good alternate that, you know what I mean, if they don't want to come in and spend, $30-$40 on 2 cigars, you know what I mean? I've always told them, you can get this cigar, you can still have a good bourbon or a good scotch with it.
Yeah.
And it just like we're experiencing now, I think the bourbon is really kind of, making this cigar come alive even more than what I've had in the past.
Well, let me tell you a little bit about what is going on here at Twins while we are continuing to smoke this Sindicato Toro Maduro here. We are, if you don't know, open for retail business. The bar is also open for outdoor seating.
Holla.
We also have an outdoor smoking lounge set up under a tent outside, which is more or less kind of overflow for the deck. That's by reservation only. And you can call 603-421-0242, hit extension 3. That'll get you up to the bar. You can make a reservation. And it's currently 2-hour blocks, correct? Is that still true?
We're pretty easygoing around here. We haven't really been enforcing
Not
that
really?
too much.
Good.
No. We got plenty of seats, so it really hasn't gotten to that point
Well, good. I'm glad to hear that.
enforcing it. And we didn't really want to have to. People want to relax, enjoy
Right.
a cigar or two or more, and make a day of it. And we know that about our customers, so we wanted to give the heads up on a real busy day, just out of respect to the other customers that are reserved to
Right.
please try to keep it around 2 hours. But so far, it's been smooth sailing, and as we progress into the summer, that could change and we could be packed every day, and but we want to have everybody.
Sure.
And we want you to have,
We want
a good
everybody to come by.
experience.
That's right.
Yeah.
So do call up and do that. Get a reservation and come on down to Twins. And then on June 13th, this coming Saturday, this coming Saturday when this podcast airs on Podbean. For those of you who are watching live, it's 2 Saturdays from now, June 13th. We're having our first live post-COVID event. And it is a Pipe Club event. Pipe Club in May turned 1 year old. We've had a fantastic year here at Twins, growing a huge pipe community here. And Mark Mormar from Laudisi Distribution Group is going to be here. We're going to have a special on Savinelli and Peterson pipes. We're going to have a selection of about 100 pipes here. There's also going to be some packages that are put together for Father's Day, for celebrating the 1 year anniversary of Pipe Club. And we're going to have some tables reserved here at the outside bar.
Awesome.
So for people can come, get their pipe, light it up and smoke it right here with some special cocktails that are going to be whipped up for you. And we're going to have great specials and raffles going on. It's going to be a great day. That's June 13th. It's a Saturday from 12 to 4 p.m. The weather should be good. And even if it's not, we can be inside for the pipe show, outside under the tent. There's no bad thing about that.
Amen.
But I'm thinking the weather's looking pretty good right now. You can stay in touch with what's going on at Twins on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, and at twinssmokeshop.com. All right. We've had a few more minutes to smoke and drink while I've talked. Dave, your cigar is still looking really good. Look at that ash.
Yep.
You are stacking dimes there.
Yeah. It's definitely it. It's razor sharp. Unbelievable. I also have not really smoked the Sindicato a lot, but it was one of the first ones that I tried when I was trying to figure out where my palate fell in the cigar world, and this was recommended to me by Pablo Maduro when I was trying to find out what's a really good Maduro. This is one of the first ones he brought to me. And funny story is I tried it and I liked it, but then the next time he wasn't there and I was trying to figure out what it was, and I got a Macanudo
Oh, boy.
Inspirato. And I was like, that's
Totally different cigar.
not it.
No, no, not at all.
I mistook a Macanudo Inspirato for a Sindicato. They both end with O. I don't know what I was
Sindicato,
thinking.
Inspirato, you know,
Potato, tomato.
right? Same, different.
Did you get the black Inspirato?
Yes,
Or-
yeah,
You did.
yeah, the
Okay,
black.
so you
At
got the
least-
Connecticut
at least you
broadleaf.
matched the
All right.
colors.
close.
You match the colors.
At least you matched
At
the
least,
colors.
at least you didn't get the white.
Yeah, no.
All right. Kendra, we know, has put down the cigar because, kicked her butt. So we go to Nick. Nick,
that was gonna happen.
we knew that was going to happen, but you tried. That's the important thing, Kendra. We are proud of you.
She lit the cigar. We're happy
She's
about
drinking.
that.
That's what counts.
Very
Nick,
much so.
what are you picking up right now? Is anything changing for you?
No, it's still
Not surprised.
no, not surprised at all. Hasn't changed. Still getting the really deep chocolate tones, a little espresso. Got the spice, nice sweetness in there. It's really, really nice, man. I really enjoy the cigar. I smoke this quite a bit. This is definitely in my, when I go and grab 15, 20 cigars, this is definitely,
cigars at a time.
no, absolutely not. When I
I'm
grab
sitting alone in my chicken coop. I smoke Sindicato.
with the chickens. No, this is definitely in my routine. This is definitely
My rotation.
This is definitely a cigar that I always grab. It's a great cigar at the great price.
Yeah. Yep. Paul?
The drink has it's such a blast of spice right off the bat with the drink. It is really intoxicating. And
Literally.
Yeah, it literally is. In the beginning, I was getting a lot of really sharp pepper notes on the retrohale. That has been replaced by a nice, deep, smooth, but rich spice. The cedar notes have kind of subsided a little bit because of the drink, bringing out a little bit more of the earthy leather notes. And I'm also picking up a little bit of floralness too. Now that might be the
floral.
drink. That might be the drink doing it. I don't think the cigar on its own, I would pick that up. I've had this enough times where I didn't notice that. So the drink is without a doubt complementing this and bringing out a lot more flavors than I would normally get on its own.
Okay.
But it's the drink is phenomenal with the cigar. Phenomenal. It's
Bravo.
keeping up beautifully because the intensity of the cigar has not let up one bit.
No.
Yeah, I feel like I have a new appreciation for barrel proof. Before, it wasn't something I would gravitate towards because I felt like in order for me to pick up the notes, I would need to put a cube in there. But, I think this is the perfect example of how to enjoy barrel proof bourbon with the right cigar. It really works well. And I wouldn't say the cigar kicked my butt, but, I still have more to
kicked your
smoke,
butt.
so.
There's still time.
It's still time, Kendra.
You just want to light it up. You know you do.
And another note,
No, I don't.
She's like, maybe later.
on another note, we talked a little bit about how we try to compare this to a Padron. There's no way a Padron smokes like this.
No.
Not one of them. Not even the Family Reserve smokes like this. This is more of a fuller body, a lot more spice, a lot more leather than you'll ever get out of a Padron. So on its own, and this goes to show you the blending characteristics of Fernandez team and how they can really use the San Andreas Marron wrapper with the great tobaccos they use. And I'm going to go on a limb too. I'm going to say
Love
that
San Andreas.
there must be some type of Lajero in this. They must, without knowing the blends, because they don't really talk about
Right.
Saying it's all
the
Nicaraguan.
individual tobaccos they use. I'm going to go on a limb and say they are using some type of Lajero, and probably from the Esteli region, because that's a lot more leather, spice, more
Could be.
fuller body flavors. It's just my guess, but I'm going to bet that's what they're using.
It's possible.
Fantastic.
possible.
Fantastic.
All right. Pastor Padron's Cigar Confessions.
Whoa, here we go.
There we go.
In the middle of the show?
In the
In
middle,
the
of, the
middle of the show.
He had to get it out.
Yep.
He had to get it
This
out.
is where people might just leave.
Bye.
Went from
This
10
was-
views to 2.
This is was something that I wondered about how to talk about and shared with Paul my thoughts And as we were talking, we both kind of came to this realization that, there were some things that were really good about the COVID shutdown. And one of those things that Paul and I both agreed was a nice break was how not having people in the store really kind of cut down the contact with difficult people.
True.
Now, in retail, it doesn't matter what you're doing, there's always going to be difficult people. If you are alive, you are going to have to deal with difficult people. So this is not saying, this is, and what do I mean by difficult people? People can be difficult for a whole number of reasons. They can be, there's the annoying difficult. Like the person who just talks too much and doesn't stop talking. Even when you've left and the door's shut and they're still talking. Then there's the person who doesn't talk at all. No matter how much you try and engage them and get them to open up or ask them questions,
Yep.
they don't say anything. Then there's the people who analyze everything. They're in the humidor scrutinizing every single cigar in a box, looking for that one that's just a little bit fatter than the others.
Are you sure this Padron's Maduro? Looks a little light.
Well,
It's-
Padron
there's-
has some
there's
issues
people
there.
like that.
That's another show for another day.
That's another show. There's also the know-it-all person.
We all love those guys.
We all have those guys too. And again, it does. This happens in church. It happens in school. It happens here at the smoke shop. It happens at the ice cream shop. It happens at Walmart, Home Depot. It
Hey, I'm
doesn't
pretty
matter.
sure it happens with
It
Kendra
happens
at
here
the
at
bar, too.
Customers coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the know-it-all. When, the reality is they don't know much. Okay? And then the last kind of thing is the people who really think they're funny, but they're not. That can really. Then there's the rudely kind of difficult people. People who are pushy. People now, they could be rudely difficult for a whole bunch of reasons. They might just be having a bad day. They might just have come from dealing with a bad situation or a bad person themselves, and now it's kind of getting taken out on you. They could be hangry.
That happens.
That happens a lot. It
that
happens to
Guilty
me.
of hangry.
I get hangry.
Yep.
Yeah.
Unlike Nick, who needs to eat every 2 hours.
3 hours. 3 hours.
I eat my lunch sometime between 2 and 3 o'clock. And if it's past 3 o'clock and I haven't eaten yet, I start to get punchy. I know that. So I need to make sure that I eat my lunch, because I'll start to, you don't want to be around Pastor Padron when he's angry. All right. Then, of course, they could just simply be difficult people with no excuse whatsoever. I mean, clueless or witless or unruly. And my question is, how do you guys respond to difficult people? People who make you want to say things like, you are proof that God has a sense of humor.
Oh my God.
Or, in the land of the witless, you would be king.
Oh my.
Or, isn't it rather dangerous to use one's entire vocabulary in a single sentence? Now, of course, you may be thinking those things,
Damn.
but you can't say those things, or at least you shouldn't be saying those things. So how do you respond to people like this so that they leave with a positive impression of you, of their shopping experience, and of their experience at Twins or wherever they might be? That's my question for you guys. And Nick, I want to start with you.
Damn. I was gonna say, Paul, take it away. Kill him with kindness.
What?
Kill
Kim
him-
with kindness?
Kill him with
Oh,
kindness.
kill them with kindness.
Yes.
Yes.
For me,
Stole my thunder.
dealing. Sorry, Dave.
You're gonna have to think of another.
Being in retail, and you know what I mean, you're dealing with hundreds of people a day. Everybody's got a different personality. Everybody's different when they come in. You just don't know what they're going through. So you got to have patience with everybody, in my opinion. And, kill them with kindness. Always put a smile on. Always be, respectful. Because you just don't know what's going on with them. They could, like you said, they could be coming from another bad situation. They're trying to get out of the house, or, they're just getting out of work. They might be in retail as well, which we get a lot of people that come in from other retail shops and various shops that come in and want to relax.
Right.
And they might have a chip on their shoulder, or they might have a bad attitude. But in my experience, dealing with, those people, be nice to them. And that's it. And out of all the people that I've dealt with, I've never had a bad outcome with, being nice to them, being respectful, speaking clearly, and just being upbeat and being energetic. And you know what I mean? They feed off that.
Yeah.
So it turns their demeanor also to be energetic or just be happier. You know what I mean? And they come to this place to, not to get nagged, or not to, oh, well, this is that, or I told you so, or anything like that. If a guy says, okay, well, oh, that's a Maduro wrapper, which it might clearly not be, correct them in the nicest way possible. For me, I've been, dealing with people all my life in personal relations and stuff like that. I've been a concierge, I've been police officer, dispatch. You don't know what that person's going through at that time. So you got to be nice to them. You got to be respectful. You got to have patience, because they come in here and they might not know what they want. And you just got to be patient with them. Just step back and let them do what they got to do. If they need a vent, for me, I'm a talker. So, if they're need to get something off their chest, I always tell people, this is like a barbershop in the old days. You come in here, you talk a little bit, you know what I mean? We'll talk back and forth, and we'll decide on a cigar. And then, from there, we'll decide on a drink. You know what I mean? For me, I'm always pairing stuff. So, if they're getting a Sindicato, it's a bourbon. Or if they're going with a Perdomo, it might be a Scotch or a bourbon. If they're going with an Ashton, it's a bourbon.
I'm always saying stuff.
So it's you know what I mean? So for me, you know what I mean? It's always patience.
Never go less than 100 proof.
Never.
On nothing.
It's not worth it. It depends on your smoking and what you're in the mood for a drink.
No, that's awesome.
But for me, it's always been patience is kind of like, for me, it's the cornerstone of, dealing with people, because you don't know what they're dealing with at the time. You don't know their mindset. You got to be patient, step back, let them absorb our shop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You might be dealing with somebody coming in for the first time.
Yep.
So you just kind of, give them space. When they're ready, then you interact. And you interact in a nice, respectful way. Kill them with kindness. Always put on a smile. Not so much that the customer's always right, because they could go to an Ashton and be like, oh, well, that's your Nicaraguan tobacco, and they're not looking at a cemetery. Correct them in the nicest way possible, in my opinion. You know what I mean? And always treat people with respect. And that's it for me. That's what I always go with.
That's cool. Kendra, how does this work up at the bar?
Come on, Kendra. How do you do it?
Deal with the
Obviously.
Be truthful.
And I don't just mean the people you work with.
Right. So obviously, Nick and I are completely different in the way.
Kindness is for pussies.
I've been called.
Damn. That hurts. That got me right in the feelings.
Well,
Dan.
I mean, that's basically what you just said.
It will make
But you said
sense.
she was
Just a minute here.
nice. She was
Go ahead.
nice about it.
Let her
See?
talk. Let her explain herself.
It will all make sense to you. I've been called the Ice Queen, or even by Kimber yesterday, like Stone Cold Virgo.
Stone Cold Virgo.
So, but
SCV.
the reality of that is, I actually am very nice, and I do care about the majority of our customers. But the thing
Minority,
is,
majority.
I do agree with a lot of what Nick said.
Sure.
But, I tend to keep my distance a little bit more until I really have understood or evaluated like which personality I'm dealing with if it's a customer that I don't know too well. So I think what's great about retail or even behind the bar is that there is constantly busy work to be done. And, if you need to keep your distance or if you need to, remove yourself so you're not caught up in a really long personal conversation, then just to remain busy and kind of ease your way in if you want to understand more about, what they're going through. But something that I always remind myself of is there's a motivational speaker that I like a lot. His name is Lonnie Main, and one thing that he says is, everyone has a story, and that's exactly what like Nick is referring to, that
Yep.
you don't know where they just were before they came and if they're going through something terrible. And so I think keeping my distance also helps me to not react to and be disrespectful if I'm reading them wrong initially. So I am a very nice person, and all the customers that are regulars here that have gotten to know me do realize that I'm
You are
not
a very
a
nice
nice
person.
queen, actually. I'm just kind of serious in all business until, I've gotten to know exactly who I'm dealing with, and
Yep.
yeah.
Unlike Lisa, who is not a nice person.
Look, all the bartenders are sweethearts.
Ice
Yeah.
cream.
Oh,
They're all
The
sweethearts.
only reason I say that is because she says it about herself all the time.
She does.
She's the nicest
joke,
person
yeah.
I know.
She is.
It's just
Look,
so
they're all
funny.
nice people.
I'm not a nice person. You can't say it without laughing at
That's
her because
true,
she's
yeah.
just so stinking nice. Anyway, Dave, what about you? What do you do with
Well, Heather says we're cheap therapy.
Cheap therapy.
Yeah, and that
free,
goes
there you
along.
go.
I think to be a good tobacconist, to be a good salesman, you have to listen.
Yeah.
And I think that is very important, is listening. It's probably been one of the hardest things for me personally to learn how to do in my life, because I've always been the talker, and it's taken me a long time to learn how to listen. And one person, the biggest person in my life who has taught me how to listen is our mom.
She doesn't give you a choice.
Well, that's how I learned. So, but
You're going to learn how to listen.
so the but I agree with Nick. You got to kill them with kindness. You got to be upbeat. You got to be positive, because at the end, your demeanor is going to set the tone for any conversation or just
Yeah.
the ambience of the human experience in the store.
Could mean a sale too. You know what I mean? It could mean.
So I like maybe cracking a small joke or something like that, or saying something stupid or silly. Is usually, then they'll realize that, I'm joking and stuff like that, or they'll just think I'm stupid. Either way, I don't care. I'm gonna have fun with my day, and if that means making an ass of myself, then that's fine too.
Okay.
There's some good stuff there, Dave. Paul,
Yeah,
how are you going to follow up all this great advice?
Well, first of all,
This great
I
free
do want to
cheap
say
therapy.
that Kendra, with the dynamics of the bar is completely different than the dynamics of the humidor.
True.
We see our customers and our clients for maybe 5, no more than 10 minutes, and then they're up here for hours. So the way they deal with customers is going to be, maybe, even though there's some similarities, is going to be different than how we deal with them. We're going to have to deal with them for only a very short period of time. Dave, to your point about listening, I came from a sales background, and no matter how unique a client is, they basically fall into 4 categories: the commander, the performer,
Yep.
the analyzer, and the empathizer.
Yep.
So you got to kind of match the
Damn.
tone of what kind of client you're dealing with, and then proceed from there. But at the end of the day, and to copy off Nick, you got to have respect and kindness to them, but I like to have fun with them. I really do.
Yeah.
I can figure out what a customer is or what type of person they are, and if they really don't want to speak too much, I'll certainly try to get them into a conversation, and sometimes they'll open up. If it's a headstrong customer, I can keep up with them. I know they're going to be more of a commander, a little headstrong, all they need is just a little bit of information to make an informed decision. I'll give that to them. But at the end of the day, it's just having fun with them. Try to keep it light. And there are times when you just got to say, I've tried everything. I'm just going to keep quiet. And there's certain customers who all you want to do is keep quiet,
True, yeah.
They just let them do the talking. You just sit there and ring them up.
Because that's what they want.
That's what they want.
That's what
all
they
need.
Want. They want somebody.
They want to unload on
listen to
someone. I'm okay with that. Go ahead,
Yep.
I'll service you to the best of my ability, and then it's up to the bar to see Kendra.
Kendra's the second half.
And I'll just be wiping down some bottles over here.
And we laugh and laugh and laugh.
She may give you a happy dance. I don't know.
We'll see. We'll see.
No, this has been some great insight into this from everybody here, and I think if I were going to try and add something, I would say how important it is for you to stay motivated and happy and having a good time yourself. And that's one of the most difficult things to be learning, is that it's your job to keep yourself motivated. And when if you can do that, like you've heard everybody say here, you can set the mood for yourself. You can't always change everybody else's outlook on things. You can't always, make somebody who comes in a miserable sourpuss leaving with a smile on their face. But when they leave, you can always have a smile on your face. Yep. And the other people who are watching can see you still have a smile on your face. And that's really, really important. You need to, being in retail, I think, for me, patience and listening are the two big things. So Nick and Dave, those are my two big things. You need to be able to do that. And sometimes people just need to be able to talk.
Brad says, that's why Paul doesn't talk to me. And
Yeah.
he said, and that's why Kendra's always cleaning glasses.
Well, Chris, now you know.
Brad.
Sorry, Chris.
If Chris is watching, the many Chris's that come through
goodness. And I think another thing here is that we so often assume that when people are negative, it's a personal thing, or we know what's going on, and we don't.
Right.
And it's so important to not assume that, this person really is having a hard time, just with you. There's things going on in their life that could be really making it difficult for them, and how you interact with them, maybe not at that moment, but that could really help them out in their day after they leave and after they have some time to think about it too. So to stay positive, to smile, to be kind, to be patient, to listen, to not assume you know what's going on in their life, and to have fun. You got to be able to have fun doing whatever you're doing and whoever you're with. And that's something you decide to do. And, I think that's one of the reasons that our podcast does as well as it does, because here we are all at the end of a day. We've all worked all day long, and then we sit down to do this, and we're doing it because it's fun. And we have fun with each other, and we
do it because we love it.
We
The
do it.
drinks.
And the drinks.
That's a plus.
Yep, and we love watching Kimber stress out in there because she's all alone. But it's fun. So there we go. That was a good talk there. People could learn something from that. Now, what is our final verdict on the Sindicato Toro Maduro? Dave.
I am very much enjoying this earthy,
Earthly
leathery cigar. It does have a kind of creaminess to it, but it's also got like a lot of spice in the retrohale. The pairing is it's magnanimous.
Good word, Dave.
Magnanimous.
Magnanimous.
I'm totally enjoying it. I am enthralled.
Paul.
It's an absolutely superb cigar, and the pairing, it was just out of this world. This is, I found my new favorite, Elijah Craig. Is this available in the?
We have a lot of it at the lounge, and we have a couple other batches too that are available too.
That's good to know.
Yep.
This has been a fantastic cigar. It's actually my favorite Sindicato is the Maduro, obviously. But so this is yeah, I know.
We know it's a Connecticut,
But it's really one of my favorite cigars in a specific price category. All these cigars are under $10.
Yep.
You can't go wrong with them. If you like a nice medium full to slightly full body cigar, this is it. You got the great cedar earth, leather tones. The drink really kind of pared down the cedar towards the end, picking up a lot more of those earthy leather tones right now. I do agree with you, Dave, on that. A little bit of creaminess too. I got that a little bit, but overall, just an absolutely fantastic cigar.
Nick, we know you like the drink because you just shoved the drips of it down your throat.
Got to get the last drop, baby.
So, what do you think of the cigar?
It's delicious. One of my go-tos, one of my favorites in the walk-in. Out of over 20,000 cigars, it's one of my favorites. At the price point, the flavor profile that you're going to get, it's almost a no-brainer. I have nothing against any other brands. I smoke everything, as you guys know. But this is, for me, it's a home run every time. Whether it be a single malt that I'm pairing it with, or maybe a Hammer and Sickle cocktail.
With some tequila.
With some tequila
Or boom sauce.
Whatever.
Red wine.
Moonshine.
Whatever.
It's for me, it's Booker's.
Booker's.
Oh, Jesus, that's my favorite
Yeah.
bourbon.
Little penicillin. Oh,
Anything.
yeah. Chase with
Penicillin.
anything.
Oh, yeah.
It's good, man. Like I said, it's a home run for me. I love this cigar. I was excited when you guys said that you were going to have it, and it's great.
Kendra, do you want to say anything?
I think I've said.
You think you've said what you need to be said?
Yeah. I've said it all.
Kendra
I
has
just
says
didn't
it
want to
all.
pass you over. You are the potion master.
Drink Elijah Craig.
Drink Elijah Craig.
That's it. So good.
Well, I can certainly agree with that. This Elijah Craig goes phenomenally well with this cigar. It is an excellent bourbon and really complements the spice of this cigar. And I tell you, the way it wakes up your taste buds, I don't care what you've been eating up through the day.
Right.
It's all going to be gone after your first. It's going to clean your palate.
Clean it.
And
Oh,
your
yeah.
tongue and your throat and your esophagus. So
And
by
your liver.
third sip, and kill your liver. But it is a great thing with this cigar, and I love San Andreas wrapper. It's one of my favorite wrappers today, and this San Andreas Marron is really, really tasty. I love the mocha notes on this. There's, I think the cigar is incredibly smooth. You guys are saying creamy. I would say smooth. There's a lot of spice with this. It's a great, great cigar, and it is a really strong cigar for the money. Every once in a while, I hear somebody ask, "I want something that's really got some kick to it. What's going to knock me off my feet? What's going to make me, have to sit back down when I try and get up?" Well, here you go for less than $10. This is a really, really strong cigar. The body's strong, but there's a lot of nicotine in here.
Yeah, it's a good strength in it.
It is got a really good strength. It's very, very nice, and it has burned great all the way down. Fantastic cigar. All right, we ready to go for our pipe tobacco here?
We'll be back after.
We'll be back after just a little break.
Bitty.
Stay tuned.
All right, everybody, we are back. Thanks for your patience there while we got our next round of beverages and lit up our pipes. And this time we are smoking something brand new from Savinelli. We are smoking Janus. And Janus is a Virginia Perique blend. And it says on the website that Janus is an ambrosial mixture of bright Virginias, Orientals, and Perique, fascinatingly nuanced and exotic. Savinelli, you may know or not know, is one of the oldest pipe companies in the world, and they're of course Italian. And this Janus, along with the two other new tobaccos that came out at the same time, Juno and Jupiter, all go back into that Italian heritage, going back into Greek mythology, Roman mythology, and these blends all pay homage to that distinctive of them. They are especially designed for the connoisseur. Each blend has been pressed and mellowed before being artfully sliced into flakes. And as a final flourish of tradition, all three blends are packaged in 2-ounce European-style round tins and branded with unique artwork evocative of Italian antiquity. Savinelli's blends are blended for them by Cornell and Deal. This is considered a Virginia Perique blend, a vapor. It is a mix of Virginias, Orientals, and Perique. There's no flavoring on this. It is a flake, and we are pairing this with a kind of porter.
Porter.
Porter?
Kind of a porta, but not really.
So what did you find out about this thing which we are having? Kendra.
So
Explain.
we have Oscar Blues Death by King Cake. So
Mouthful.
this is a white porter, which is different. It's a 6.5 ABV, and it is supposed to be giving us some notes of orange peel, nutmeg, cinnamon, some cacao nibs.
Ow.
So you should have a finish of like a cakey type of flavor, a little bit of a cakey mouthfeel, even maybe.
Cakey
But-
mouthfeel?
Yeah, something that just kind of like stays with you, kind of coats your mouth. But it to me, it's lighter than what I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah.
Definitely
very
is
tasty.
light, yeah. Very
It's
tasty.
easy to drink. Unlike that, Elijah Craig, which if you chug that, you'd
Fire.
probably die.
Right. Well, what I was just gonna
wouldn't.
say is the beer is coming across light. Also, the tobacco is kind of coming across like mild to medium for me, and that could be because of what we just experienced minutes earlier.
The
So,
ice line.
Nice punch in the face, yep.
Comes the palate.
everything is really light right now.
Dave, what is your first thoughts on this tobacco and the pairing? That's your cue to talk, Dave. That's your cue to talk, Dave.
I'm still thinking on it. Come back
That's,
to me.
no,
Come
I
on.
want to know now.
Oh. Okay.
Dave, you can't have dead air on a talk show, Dave. Dave.
I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready.
Paul.
Thoughts are not coming to me.
Nick.
Thank you, Paul.
Okay. With the tobacco, nice sweet notes, some spice, light, and that's it, man. That's all I'm getting. That's all I'm getting, man.
Kendra, what are you getting?
Yeah, I agree. Light. I'm getting kind of like fig or like raisin or something, like a little bit of a dried fruit, maybe a little floral. Not a ton of aroma, like it's not really as aromatic as others to me. Enjoyable. Yeah, nice, easy smoke.
Paul, what about you?
The tobacco on its own, when I first let the bowl up and had the first few draws, I got a tremendous amount of rich spice on the retrohale. You're getting those deep Virginia notes, the dried fruit, some earth and some woody notes, some little bit of spice from the Perique. The drink has pared down the sweetness, bringing out a little bit more of those woody tones. It's now the spice on the retrohale has been really smooth, so
I
it's smoothed it
concur.
right out. And I do agree, it isn't a very fuller body type of tobacco. I'd say right mild to medium. very easygoing. I agree with Kendra, not a lot of aroma, but all in all, the tobacco is really, really good.
Yep, it's definitely got a smooth retro ale. I'm definitely getting a lot of the fig and the dried fruit. I think the pairing is. I'm flip flopping between whether it's complementary or contrasty. I think it's
Contrasty.
contrast-ish. I think the pairing is bringing out more of the fig and the woody notes of the tobacco. The retro hail is very smooth. It's very pleasant. Maybe a little, very hint of a floral note. Not much, but it's nice, comforting.
Comforting.
Easy going.
Very relaxing.
Easy going.
smoke.
What I will say this though, I had a taste of the Death by King cake before the show, and I picked up right away a little bit of a strawberry shortcake flavor. Now I'm not getting that now because I think our palates have been compromised by the onslaught of the Sindicato
Compromised
and the
is a
Elisha
very kind
Craig.
word.
So it may be a little tough to pick up, but
Yep.
it was there.
Yeah, my last cigar before I came here was a knuckle dragger, so my palate's kind of like.
Oh yeah, yeah. You're in overdrive.
Yeah.
You're burned out. You mean not prepared at
Little
all to be
overwhelmed.
on the podcast.
You're Cro-Magnomed.
It was my first knuckle dragger, so.
Ever?
Yeah,
Ever?
ever.
Oh boy.
Wow.
I've had the Cro-Magnon before, but I never had the knuckle dragger.
Oh boy.
And it was just like bam. That was
Dan, what are you
one
picking up?
Full body cigar.
Well, as soon as I opened the tin and smelled this, I got a really strong barnyard kind of aroma.
Yeah.
You
Smelled
know,
like
in the
hay.
tin note. Smelled like hay.
A little manure.
A little manure.
Just a little
And-
poop, smear.
But in the cigar world, that's a compliment. When that's what you're picking up off the end, that means the tobacco's been aged really well. And I think that's the case here.
Okay.
The Virginias, for me, are deeper and therefore more woody than fruity. I'm not getting a whole lot of citrusy zing off of this. But the Perique, I think, is bringing some of that fig and dried fruit to the palate here. And the Orientals really kind of create that floral note that some people have said that they've been getting. I also get that in the room note of the tobacco. And while I agree that this is the room note on this is not as strong and pronounced as some of the other tobaccos we've had recently, it is very pleasant.
It is.
Yeah.
And
It's a very pleasant smelling smoke.
and the finish is very woody and earthy and kind of has this really dark almost like a unsweetened chocolate kind of feel
Ow.
to it. And I think when I have the drink, when I have the porter, it really kind of brings out the Virginias a little bit more. And at the same time, it completely cleanses my palate of what I'm tasting. So it's almost like the next time I draw the pipe, I have a completely clean experience of the tobacco. None of it's left on my palate. Is anybody else experiencing that? Lots of dead air here.
I can tell you, I can agree with you on the palate cleansing part because the beer is very, very smooth. There's not a lot of, there's very little hop flavor to this. Even though it's a porter, generally there is some hoppiness to certain porters too, or stouts. But this one here is just finishes incredibly clean. Doesn't linger at all. So I could
Really good cleanse. It is.
Yeah, I could easily say this would be a good palate cleanser. Yeah.
Magnanimous.
Yeah, a lot of like that. I can absolutely agree with the woody characteristics of the tobacco.
You getting any floral in the retro hail? A little bit.
I'm getting a tad bit. Nothing
Just
crazy,
a little
but
bit.
just
Nothing
a little
big.
bit.
Nothing big. Just a nice smooth spice.
And
Yeah.
just the aroma.
I
is
get a
just
very big
nice.
floral note in
Yeah.
the
I'm
in the
getting-
retrohale.
Yeah. Just take a big swig of the drink and then do a retrohale. You get a lot of floral.
Like
there's a
at
nice-
the same time, like you're holding in the
Yes.
smoke and then drinking it and then retrohaling it. Like do it like that. Like that's interesting.
I just take a mouthful of smoke and I hold it for as long as I can, and then chase it with my porter, and then I blow everything out my nose.
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit more now. Yeah.
The drink is very refreshing.
It is very pleasant to smoke. You know.
Yeah, it's very different than I thought it was going to be.
It's a lot lighter than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to have a little bit more body.
Mm-hmm.
Not that this is lacking any flavor, but I thought it was going to be, a little bit more body, maybe a little bit more sweetness, a little bit more kind of in your face a little bit.
Now, isn't this the favorite of the three that are made?
Well, I guess
Favorite
that's
of the three? Why would it be the favorite?
I thought it was like the most popular of the three.
It just came out.
It just came out.
Just came out.
Because I had some Jupiter,
Yeah.
and Jupiter was amazing.
Now, what's
Anybody
the blend on
is-
Jupiter?
Jupiter is almost like, to me, would be a good replacement for Carolina Red Flake.
Ooh,
The straight Carolina Red
Only
Flake. Oh,
Shots fired
Dare
there,
I
brother.
say, better.
Shot. Oh no.
The straight Carolina Red Flake, or the one with the
straight.
fruit? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you haven't had Juno yet.
no, this is
And Juno is straight Virginia. And it'll be very interesting to compare that with other high-end Virginias. But while this is not near as strong as I thought it was going to be, I do like the woody notes, the figgy notes. That little, the Orientals they have in there really kind of creates that little bit of zing and floral aspect that you don't get. The other vapor that has this type of thing, this type of blend, is Deception Pass. You remember that?
I do.
From Seattle Pipe Club. We've smoked that on the show. That has a much stronger flavor to it, and the Orientals are much more pronounced in that blend. It would be interesting to kind of smoke those two back to back and see which kind of Virginia Perique Oriental mix was
Interesting.
favored.
I really want to pair this with a coffee. That's what I want to do.
I think the coffee would be too strong for this.
I don't think so.
Not David's coffee.
Oh, extra sugar and cream.
No, he's talking about my
Maple
lack
coffee.
of love for the Nespresso machine.
Did you say that right? Yeah, lack of love for the
Yeah.
Nespresso machine.
That's right.
Yeah.
You should be
Your
arrested.
Dunkin' Donuts
sir.
coffee would go well
Yeah.
with this.
You should be.
That's
You
what
should
I'm
be
saying,
arrested. You should be arrested right now. Londonderry PD should come up and arrest you.
Light watered down Dunkin' Donuts coffee with plenty of cream.
So
and
he likes
sugar.
Extra,
milk.
extra.
He likes
and
milk
some
and sugar
caramel
with a
swirl
splash
put
of
in
coffee.
there, you know.
Is that what he
So
likes?
when you get the coffee, you're like,
typically-
is this milk?
Yeah, exactly.
I typically get only one shot of cream with my coffee at Dunkin' Donuts, just to take the.
It's okay. You
One
don't have to
shot of
lie.
cream.
You don't have to lie to the
When
people
you get a
that are
regular,
watching.
it's like 4 shots of cream.
I get a regular, so it's easy for you to remember.
Well, I'm not going to Dunkin' Donuts and asking for some flippy
My favorite is
cappuccino
their cold
mocha
brew.
thing.
Their cold brew is really good.
Their cold brews are good.
I don't know. I don't drink coffee, so
I know, Nick.
I can't believe that.
a
It's
shame.
something you don't drink.
coffee.
Well, there's no alcohol in coffee. That,
Well, there
that
can
kind of
be.
explains it there.
I had a Cuban coffee once with some Puerto Rican rum in there in Puerto Rico at like 7:30 in the morning, and that was delicious. But then after the cup of coffee I had, I just started drinking
Just the
rum.
rum.
Just the rum.
Just the rum.
Yeah, just the rum.
Can I have that
Well, the
Puerto Rican
coffee's in the
coffee
way.
again, but without the coffee?
Well, it was Cuban coffee that
Cuban
my mother-in-law
coffee
made
without
me,
the
and it was
Cuban coffee.
delicious. It was amazing, and then right after that, it was hitting the bottle of Bacardi, man.
My favorite coffee is Laughing Man.
Why am I not surprised?
From
By,
who makes that?
Hugh Jackman.
Really?
Hugh Jackman makes coffee.
Oh yeah, he does. Yeah, yeah. I heard that brand.
Love it.
All right, so while we're continuing to smoke and drink here, Paul, you want to tell us a little bit about some stuff that's going on in the world?
Yes. So, to our brothers and sisters in the state that lies south of us, there is some news.
Is it
Almost
Connecticut?
all of them.
No.
Is it Connecticut?
That's 2 states south of us, my friend.
Oh.
Massachusetts flavored tobacco ban now in effect. We actually had some customers come in today who were
Yep.
searching for certain flavored cigarettes and
But
other
they get to
things.
keep their
and-
bubblegum vodka. That's kind of funny.
well, we'll talk a little bit about that, my friend.
You stop it with that bubblegum vodka.
So, as of
Jesus.
today, June 1st, the sale of flavored tobacco products is now illegal at most retailers in the state of Massachusetts. The one exception to the new law is that businesses defined as smoking bars will be able to sell flavored tobacco products and vaping products for on-site consumption. Tobacco or other nicotine delivery products that include any added flavorings, including mint and menthol, are included in the ban. This bill also places a new 75% excise tax on vaping products and e-cigarettes.
Wow.
It received overwhelming support in both chambers of the legislature, passing the House by a 127 to 31 vote, and the Senate by 32 to 6 vote.
Jeez.
Governor Charlie Baker signed the bill on November 27th, 2019.
Jeez, that's a unanimous decision.
Yes.
That's what they call it in UFC and boxing, a unanimous decision.
But it does bring to a little bit of discussion because while flavored tobacco is banned, the liquor world, they're not banning those flavors.
Nope.
No.
I mean, if you look at, just take for example, Absolute Vodka. I mean, how many flavors do they have? They must have at least 20 in their arsenal.
Absolute banana.
I mean, they've got every flavor in this under the sun,
Yep.
and that's just one brand,
And you
one
can have
type of liquor.
Have a couple shots, go out and kill your best friend in an accident. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
I mean, Bacardi. I mean, you know Bacardi.
Let's not go there.
You go to
not go there.
Bacardi every year.
And that's not to,
Well, yeah.
that's not to like put down alcohol.
No,
That's to
not at
say
all,
that
not at all.
This is just an easy win for someone to fill their resume.
Yep.
Well, what it is I think a double standard. That here you have alcohol and tobacco, 2 21 and over items that can be bought. One, flavors are banned. The other, they're not. Why? If you think that flavoring tobacco is aimed at getting youth and underage people smoking cigarettes or pipe tobacco or cigars, why does that same logic not apply to alcoholic beverages? And I can tell you, working at Twins, we are not inundated with 13, 14, 15-year-olds trying to get in here to get themselves a Cuba Cuba. You know? It is... I do not... we card people who don't look 27 years old.
Right.
I
But-
card people who just look younger than me.
Yeah. I tell them, hey, I don't know who you are. You don't look 50. Can I please see an ID? You know, and I kind of make it funny that way, you know. But I've never had a problem with underage people coming into this establishment. But I know, you know, from I know when I was a youth pastor in Wakefield, Massachusetts, the sophomore class dance was canceled. 30 minutes after it started, the lights came up and everybody was sent home because there were too many people drunk at the sophomore class dance. So these are 14 and 15-year-old kids, and they had all exchanged, you know, Polar Springs.
They pop the punch. That's what you do.
No, they had Polar Springs water bottles that were filled with vodka.
That's awesome.
And it was interesting to me. I said to the kid who's telling me this, What do you mean there were too many? Like there was an acceptable number of 15-year-old kids drunk and they would have kept going? But it was so bad that they had to cancel it. I've never seen that with cigars.
No.
I've never seen a bunch of, kids on the beach passing out their Cuba Cubas or Blondies
Right.
or, fat bottom Betties and saying, hey, look what I was able to get with my fake ID. It's so, to me, it's just, if you're gonna say that flavored stuff is aimed at kids for this, I don't understand how you can not aim it for that. And if it's not aimed for that, that makes me think that you have a real bias against this.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something,
Full of crap.
taxing that stuff at 75% is not going to make the state any money.
Nope.
It's going to make them less.
It's going to make them less.
You're going to have a lot of
So-
people
Make
going
us
out of
money.
business.
You're welcome.
I don't know what to say. Does anyone else have anything they want to add to
Well,
that?
it's just a conspiracy against the tobacco world. It really is. I mean, there's no other way to describe it. I mean, you're talking about exactly. There's no real difference, and there's even more of an issue in people getting drunk.
Well, there's more of a health issue.
Exactly.
There's you don't smoke a cigar and then die the next day of cancer. You can have a drink and go out and kill someone. I mean, that's a reality of life. That's a daily reality of life, and it's like we're not trying to put down alcohol. We're trying to say this is way uneven. It is. We're being singled out, and for no reason.
Kendra, what do you have to say about all this?
Well, do you think that this was? Could we blame the whole vape craze really though, and then just cigars and flavored cigarettes kind of fell under the rule? And would this ever have happened if it wasn't this whole vape, moment that we had where that was a really young thing to do?
I think
Right?
I think the vape
she's
might
got a
have
good
played
question.
part in it, but
It's a good question.
I feel like cigarettes, because the government lumped tobacco as a group and hasn't separated the families like pipe tobacco
Sure.
and premium cigars and vape, they need to separate it,
Right.
and that's the thing, because there is a huge difference, in the age group of what's actually sought after.
Yeah,
You know?
because the vape thing was the cool thing to do with young and surely underage kids.
Yeah.
I mean, there's probably vapes all over high schools, and then that's probably what catapulted this to.
I think
come
think
about.
you're right, and to that point too, vaping devices, have been jury rigged and altered to be, what's the word I'm looking for? To use products with them that were never intended to be used with
Like
them,
THC.
like THC.
Yeah.
And so you've got
Or meth.
a huge number of deaths that have been, attributed to vaping because it was used as a delivery device for something that was never intended by the people who created the device for
Yeah.
it. And the only way to really stop that, really, is to get rid of the device, right? I get that, and so I see why they had to come down on that. We could talk. I know we're preaching to the choir about this. It's and Kendra brings up the point that it's not exactly a black and white issue. But I do think, Paul is correct too, that there is some double standard here. It's interesting to me that, with all the COVID stuff happening, that liquor stores were considered, essential, like gas stations or grocery stores, but tobacco shops had to close down, and
Although,
Why-
even though
what-
certain countries are having frontline workers wear nicotine patches because they found that the people with nicotine in their systems are more resilient to the coronavirus. So,
Yeah, there is a lot of research going on, and there's some conflicting reports, but there are studies that are showing that a nicotine, tobacco plant derivative is good at blocking the COVID virus because the nicotine receptors attach to the things that the COVID is looking to attach to in your cells, and therefore it blocks it. And of course, the World Health Organization doesn't want to even consider that because God help us if tobacco actually does something good in the world, But that's a talk for another day. I'm not really prepared to talk about that. I don't have all the facts in front of me.
Well, it's almost like if they had shut down the liquor stores during this whole pandemic thing, they would be dealing with so many more problems because there is almost like an addiction for some people with alcohol than there is with tobacco.
Especially in politics.
It's called alcoholism.
Well, I know, yeah, but
Being alcoholic.
again, you would be there would be a whole different animal they would be dealing with, and I think people would have revolted. Seriously,
You can hide.
there would be
you can
riot.
hide
I mean, no, don't want to take away from the rioting that's going on here. There would be riots of its own.
Well, that's the thing too, is you can't smoke, in those places, but you can drink. I mean, you can hide a drink in something, and but you can't hide a smoke, because it's smoke. So I mean, I think that's kind of like, it's definitely like there's some kind of like underground thing to it, not to get all political and stuff. But.
Well, let's change the topic a little bit and get on to something a little bit lighter.
Would you rather?
Would you rather?
Woo!
Would you rather,
There we go.
Kendra?
Oh boy, why first?
Would you rather have to fight 100 duck-sized horses or one horse-sized duck?
Wow.
Quack.
One horse-sized duck.
Those things are vicious.
Why?
Why
one
would you pick
horse-sized
that?
Duck? That's evil to me. A horse-sized duck.
That's a vicious
I mean-
The voice
animal.
of a different duck.
It's a strange question.
How'd you come up with that question?
Why would you want to have 100 coming at you? There's no way that
100
as one
charges.
person you can block them all or fight them all. I mean, I'm not like
They'd
a
be fun to
Viking
catch.
warrior, people.
Oh, come on, here's
and they
Xena.
have horse-like faces there, Kendra. So they'd
Wait.
be looking at you when they're coming for you.
What? I don't even know how to explain my reasoning for my answer. Honestly.
I mean, if you had a horse-sized duck, that thing could like swallow you whole, man. I mean, damn.
They're vicious,
But
man. They're
is
vicious.
there a lot of
Bastards.
strength in their actual like feet, or is it all
Yeah.
in the beak?
No, man. The
I'm
whole
sorry.
body is that duck meat, man. That's
Where
that's
do I
lean.
need to hit them first?
You wouldn't have a chance.
Quackers.
You wouldn't have a chance.
Right in the quacker.
Yeah, I feel like either choice you make here, you're gonna probably
Lose.
lose. in
Be the
some
bad
way.
guy.
Nick, what about you? 100 horses the size of a duck or
Dude.
one horse-sized duck? Which would you rather wrestle?
I've raised actual ducks, and those things they can be vicious at times, and I would rather have horse-sized ducks coming at me. I would.
How
No.
would you handle
Du-
100
duck-sized
horse?
horses.
duck-sized horses.
Not horse-like ducks.
I don't know. That's confusing now. Getting me confused.
kind of
Those
duck
small
size are we
horses,
talking
man.
about?
They're
Duck-sized horses.
small horses. I would put my boots on and
And
kick
cut
some
them.
field goals. Kick some field goals,
Because
man.
the horses might be nice, right? Is that what?
Well,
Well, you have to
Or are they
fight them.
definitely mean?
They have to fight you.
They're all bucking
they're
broncos.
aggressive. They're
What if all
aggressive.
100
It's
want
Fight
to cuddle
Club.
you?
No,
Fight
I
Club.
doubt that the little baby horses are gonna try to cuddle
Because they're
you.
probably going to be cute.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cute little horses.
it would be for
Like
me.
My
It'd be the
Little
100
Pony.
little
You're
horses. man.
missing the point. You have to fight them, Kendra. Fight
But
them.
why do you have to fight? You find out if they're nice first.
That's a good point. She also has a very
That
good
gets
point.
back to the whole discussion we had at the beginning of the show. How do you deal with difficult ducks and difficult miniature horses?
I would definitely not want to face off on a duck that's the size of a horse,
Yep.
anybody would die.
Any size horse, really. Big one, you know. Even if
Yeah,
it was like
that's a
donkey.
ducks can be vicious, man. They
Yeah.
can be territorial. You know what I mean? I've raised a couple of ducks last year, and you know what I mean. They're hard
Well,
to
you
handle.
tried. They-
I
If you had
tried.
bread
Yes.
on you,
Got
though.
eaten.
That what?
What if you had like a loaf of bread on you? Then you could
See?
keep it
Now
more
you're thinking.
chill.
I doubt it. I doubt it.
I don't know. They like bread though, for real.
Paul,
They actually don't.
I'm gonna
not
go
good
all
for
in.
them.
all in.
I'm going all out too.
Oh.
I'm gonna face the horse-sized duck.
The
Whoa.
horse-sized duck.
Yeah.
I wanna
and if
see
I
that.
die, I die. But I don't want to be fighting off 100 horses. There's no way. There's no
Even
way.
if they were really little horses?
Yeah, no, because they'll overpower you. Plus, I like the look of horses too. I can't do that. I can do it to a duck. I can't do it to a horse.
You heard it here,
We
people.
only like the cute ones, people.
He's not a duck guy. He's
I'll
not a duck person.
probably die, but I'll die fighting.
I
No
would go for
way.
the duck.
The one big
I would
duck.
go for the big duck.
Why?
Final Fantasy. The chance to
Fine.
have a chocobo.
Chocobo.
Yeah,
Chance
you're
to
not
ride
gonna.
that duck.
You're not
I'll
gonna ride
that
it.
duck.
It's gonna eat you in one
No
swipe
way.
of its bill.
I
How
will.
you
It's
came up with
over.
this question?
It's
What?
over.
Is that how you came up
No,
with
it
this
is
question?
not.
Because
Come
of
on,
Final
guys.
Fantasy?
No.
Come on, guys. Be logical here. Come
I'm
on.
so happy you know
Trying
about
to
Final
fight
Fantasy,
off
though.
a
That's
huge
cool.
duck. Come on.
You said it.
Come on, Danny. Be reasonable here. You're trying to fight off a 400-pound duck.
Yeah.
You're kidding me. You wouldn't last 2 seconds.
Oh
You
no.
could outsmart it though.
Grab
How?
that
Because
bill.
ducks aren't that smart, are they?
No.
Yeah, man. Yeah, they are.
Oh,
Ducks are
They're not.
nothing.
Ducks are
They
nothing.
just
Ducks
want
are
food.
nothing.
No, man. No, man. Oh my God.
might be-
Horses are
These guys
smarter
are
than
crazy.
ducks.
Let me ask you a question. Would you rather have, if you were to get shot, would you rather have one shot to the head and die instantly, or get several to the chest and bleed out?
Well, that's a dumb
That's a
question.
good question.
It's not a dumb question, because if
No,
you
it's a good
if
question.
you have 100 duck-like horses coming at you, it could be a painful, long process, and he's going to die anyways.
That's good.
One duck comes at you.
I'll be
the
going
size
down
of a horse.
fighting, though. I'll be going down fighting.
All right. It could be just quick and easy if the duck gets you.
I tell you right now, if I got shot in the chest a couple of times, I'll be going down fighting. Tell you that.
Nick's just being a difficult customer
I'm
right
not.
now.
Look, I'm not being a difficult customer. Look, my choices are my choices. That's it.
I just
Period.
don't like horses.
I love horses, man.
Kick those little mothers.
I got like in my where I live, there's I'd probably say about 6 or 7 people that own horses, and I drive by them every day, and they're beautiful, majestic animals. I love them. My wife loves them,
but I would kick the ever living
I
crap
would
out of 100 duck-sized
get
horses.
get my cowboy boots on and kick some field goals, baby.
Your crap kickers?
Yes, I would. And I'd be kicking some field goals, man.
Dave.
I'd be terrified of a duck that's that as big as a horse.
Dave,
I would go for I would go for the 100 horses, man.
you would go for the 100
Time,
horses.
time to make some field goal records.
Attaboy. There'd be no chance. There'd be absolutely no chance in a real situation that you would encounter a duck that big. You would have no chance. You wouldn't be able to run because it'd be running faster than you. Everything.
Look,
It's stronger than you,
Both
runs
you and
faster
Dave
than you.
are
You
wicked,
would die
huge
in
ADD
seconds.
people who would never
No.
be able to have the concentration to take on 100 horses.
No.
Never.
No.
Never. You'd be looking at those 5 over there and not see the 95 that are crawling
Absolutely
up your butt.
not.
You're
Absolutely
dead.
not.
You're dead meat.
Absolutely not. At that size,
You'd be
they
trampled.
would no.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. They'd
Yeah.
be trampling me.
Black stallion into the mud.
All right, so you're getting into
Would
specifics
be
here.
like the man from Snowy River, right down into the
Oh
ground.
my God!
Oh man.
What
I
do
would
our
go
viewers
for-
say about this?
Yeah, what do the
What do
viewers
the viewers say about this?
Anything, Dave?
What would Brad Christie do?
Brad,
What would Brad
what would you
Christie
do,
do?
Brad?
Brad, are you still there, Brad? Brad,
We're calling you out, Brad.
Brad, are you still there?
He imagines a duck l'orange.
Do you want the duck or the horses?
Yeah, what do you want? The duck or the horses?
He wants a duck.
You want the
He
duck?
says, the first rule of Fight Club, Dan. What's the first rule of Fight Club?
You don't talk about.
You don't talk about Fight Club, so he's just
He's avoiding the question.
he's avoiding the
He also
question.
says it depends on the shoes he's wearing.
Now, see, that's all lame. You see,
He's got to have the
If you're
PF
wearing
Flyers.
Crocs, you
These
definitely
questions
want to
He's
go
got to
with
have
that.
those PF
Reveal
Flyers on.
certain things about yourself and your personality, and you're just letting us know about your shoes. That's not good. So, Dave, what's your final verdict on this tobacco here? Do you have anything to say yet?
It's still getting that fig. I'm still getting some floral and retrohale. I think that's increased for me.
Increased?
Increased.
The pairing is, I want to say it's contrasting.
Ooh, I would definitely disagree with that comment.
Because I get a different feel when I drink.
Well, what do you feel, Dave? What do you
And when
feel?
I smoke, it kind of tastes
kind
a
of
little
feeling?
bitter, and then
Tell us, Dave. Tell us what you're feeling.
as I smoke more, then some of the figginess comes back. So I feel like there's kind of a contrast. It brings back a little.
Sweet all the way around for me, baby.
Kendra, what about you? What do you think?
That's my horror story.
So for me, I have to say that my gut on this is that the beer is slightly too light for the tobacco, because what I'm a little disappointed in is that I'm not picking up some of those notes in the beer that I should be. Like, it's advertised as having the cinnamon, the nutmeg, the pecans, the cacao nibs, you know.
I'm not picking up
And
that.
I'm really
Yeah.
only getting a little bit of citrus out of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And so I think that the tobacco is kind of taking the beer down a
Contrasting?
notch where you're not enjoying what the potential of the beer. So
I agree.
I think the pipe tobacco, it's good. It's a light kind of smoke where the sweetness is subtle.
Yep.
And it's smooth and well balanced. It could be kind of like one of those everyday smokes where it's not heavy in aroma.
Right.
It's not gonna be like a palate, like it's not gonna. There's not a ton there. So as far as like, yeah, it's just everything is subtle about it and nice and smooth. So. Yeah, it's a great tobacco. It could be an everyday smoke, but I don't think that we're getting the full effect from the beer that we should.
Okay. Paul?
Brad says that Twins is the only large bill he can handle.
That's perfect.
I'm going to say
Touche.
had we not had the Elijah Craig and the Sindicato before the pipe and the beer, that we probably would be picking up a little bit more of those flavors that in both the beer and the tobacco. But having said that, I do agree that the beer is probably a little bit more contrasting. I'm enjoying it. The tobacco is good. It's not my favorite by any means. Not my favorite. Let me clarify that. It's not my favorite Virginia Perique blend. There are several others that I really, really enjoy. A little bit more. It's good on its own, but I'm enjoying it. Yeah.
Yep, it's very comforting.
Yeah, it is.
Comforting, smooth, an all-day smoke, something that you could smoke all the time. I totally agree with that. Wood, fig, some floral notes. Some of the woody notes have gotten a little bit more pronounced as it's gone down the bowl of my pipe. But those flavors really have been very consistent all the way down. I do think the drink was a good pairing with this. Maybe not the best pairing. The thing I enjoyed about the beer the most as a pairing went is it seemed to not really disagree with anything anything on the finish of the tobacco, but then completely cleared my palate. So that a lot of the darker, earthier tones that were left from the finish of the tobacco are completely cleaned by the beer or porter. I'm still new to this whole thing, and so in that sense, I enjoyed it. It's a great, I think, summer, lighter kind of porter, and it's interesting. Again, a white porter. I've never really had one of those before, and very interesting. The name, Death by King Cake. I expected the flavors of the beer to be, or the porter to be, a lot stronger. If you're going to die by King Cake, I expect it to be a little bit more of the assaulting kind of nature of things. And interestingly enough, I feel the same about the pipe tobacco. It's named after Janus, the two-faced god. You think you're getting one, and then there's the other one. And so I was expecting kind of almost a sucker punch from the tobacco, and I did not get that at all. It's very good, but it's also just very mellow and relaxing. It doesn't, to me, it did not really live up to its name, and when they describe it as an ambroisial mixture, that means, something fit for the gods. I don't really think it makes that for me, but it is very good, and it is if you're looking for a Virginia Perique that's a little bit different, that you can smoke all the time without really burning out your palate, this could be a real go-to thing. Mm-hmm. It did light up really well out of the tin, and not a lot of flakes. Sometimes you have to let flakes dry out a little bit before you light them up, but not this. So in that sense, it was really good too.
Yeah.
Now, next week is going to be a very special show.
What do we got?
Next week, we have a special guest.
Who?
Orlando Cabrera.
Oh, my goodness.
Orlando Cabrera. Now, who is Orlando Cabrera?
Tell us.
No, I'm asking you to tell us.
No, you're not.
He is the shortstop for the 2004 World Series Red Sox.
That's right. He was on the championship team from 2004. He's going to be with us. He's a big friend of Twins.
Yep.
And he's been wanting to be on the show with us for a long time.
Since the
and
beginning.
we were finally able to work out his schedule and our schedule. And so next Monday, we will have Orlando on the show with us. That's going to be really big. We'll almost surely talk about baseball, and he tells stories like nobody's business, man.
Yeah.
It's going to be a very entertaining show. I can't wait for it, and I hope you're here next Monday night at 8 o'clock to watch this episode live. It's going to be huge-mongous, as they say. And we're going to be smoking one of his favorite cigars outside of Opus X. We're going to be smoking the Camacho 2012 Throwback, which is a cigar that he really loves, that we have here at Twins. And then for our pipe tobacco, which he will be smoking with us. Ooh, he's not one of these wusses that's going to leave halfway through the show. He's doing the whole thing.
Nice.
Are you trying to call out Eric Wentworth there, brother?
No, not at all. Why would you think that, you little horse lover man? We're going to be smoking the latest small batch release from Cornel and Deal, the San Sepulcro, which hits stores on June 2nd, and we're going to be smoking that next week. And so you're not going to want to miss that either. Nope. So until then, this is Pastor Padron saying be safe, be thankful, and stay smoky, my friends.
Bye. Another smoke, another day.
Thanks, everyone.
Surrounded by leather in my brand new fancy car. Hawkins and the finest of wine. Those curves and that stoner shoe looking so fine. It's the way I feel smoking on a fat cigar. Fancy clothes, diamonds, and big fine cars wouldn't be the same without a big old fat cigar. Drinking with the boys at Fat Cat Smoking Bar, talking about the master plans that'll make us go far. Such a